It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias Podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero. It's time for another episode of the Best of Bias Podcast, starring yours truly, the man with the plan. Sometimes you don't got a plan, but even if you don't got a plan, it's still gonna sound good. Yeah, y'all. Today, we got some pop culture to talk about, so we're gonna get right to it. Without further ado, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It is just me today. No AKA. He is still in the moving process. Still has a lot to go, a lot going on over there. So we are still waiting for his arrival back on this podcast. But hey, it's me. I got topics, plenty of topics from last 2 weeks to discuss with y'all if y'all have me. So let's get right into it. I said that already. Let's really do it this time. So starting with the Warriors, man, I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about the Warriors winning the NBA 2022 championship. 7-time champion Warriors. Well, in our kind of new millennials generation, 4-time champion. What can I say, man? Everybody kind of expected it to be the Nets and the Lakers in the final. At the beginning of the season, I couldn't hear nothing else but, the Lakers are stacked. Melo, Dwight Howard, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and that team. Obviously, you guys seen the season; they fell apart. And on the Nets side, you know, shit's going down with them that I'll get into in a little bit. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with that team anytime soon either. So seeing it now, it's just kind of crazy to see that the Warriors kind of came out and won, man, especially after playing us first round, because, man, all season long, the Warriors, the whole West was kind of teeter-tottering. The Warriors and the Phoenix Suns, I think, started off real hot, beating everybody. Really easily, and they had like a lot of separation until kind of late in the season. The Grizzlies caught up. The Jazz started losing a lot too. The Jazz and the Warriors were kind of jostling for like the number 2 and 3 seeds for a while until they kind of dropped off. I don't know what's going on with the Jazz. I think they're trying to get Rudy Gobert up out of there. I don't think after like the COVID thing when Gobert was touching all the microphones, I don't think Donovan Mitchell ever started to like really fuck with Rudy Gobert again. So I think they're trying to ship him out of town and trying to make Donovan Mitchell happy. But there's a lot of rumors that Donovan Mitchell may be gone too. So that's kind of crazy. But anyways, man, I just didn't really expect the Warriors to be where they were and to finish how they did, especially kind of towards the end of the season when everybody wasn't really healthy. Clay, Steph was, getting a little injured. Clay was just coming back and getting his legs up under him. So I didn't think they're going to do what they actually did in the playoffs. Congratulations to them first and foremost. I don't want to sound like a hater before I get into the first round when they played the Nuggets. We were missing 2 of our starters. You heard me talk about this and it's kind of talk about this point over and over and over. So I'm not going to gripe on it too much, but y'all know we were missing 2 of our starting players. So they kind of walked through us easily, gentlemen's sweep. And then the next series, the Grizzlies did put up a little fight, but it was kind of unorthodox because we did see the ascension of Ja Morant this season. But as we saw that, we also saw that the team was actually pretty good, if not better, when he wasn't on the floor. They performed better anyway. So it was an interesting team. They're kind of an anomaly this year. Me personally, being a Nuggets fan, we had a lot of battles with the Memphis Grizzlies over the years. And I kind of do feel like, they're on the come up. They're not quite there yet, but they are on the come up, no doubt. I didn't think this year was their year at all. When people were talking about they could win the championship or they would win the championship, I was kind of confused about that because, I don't know, I just didn't see it from them this year. You know what I mean? I see the improvement. I do understand why Ja Morant got most improved and stuff like that, but I don't really understand. Like why everybody really thought that they were going to be that team to like that was going to destroy everybody. It was just kind of weird to me. I just felt like they didn't. My bad for that music, guys. I hope I don't get demonetized for that. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I got to put my phone on do not disturb so these people won't be hitting me up during this beautiful podcast with these beautiful people. My bad, y'all. You heard a little bit of music on there. Hopefully Ariel AKA can edit that out so they don't necessarily have to hear all that in the actual pod verse. But anyways, back to the Warriors in the Western Conference. Yeah, man, they made their mark after they beat us. They made it to the Memphis Grizzlies, and Ja got hurt. Man, I thought they were clear cut going to the finals. Once they met up with the Dallas Mavericks, I didn't think they had enough at all. They kind of made it a series from time to time. We thought Luka can pull it off and beat the Warriors, and people were still kind of doubting the Warriors that they were kind of flashing the pan right now. They were getting kind of healthy and just kind of getting lucky with playing teams that were injured, but they really showed, starting with the Dallas Mavericks, that they were going to be real in this playoff run. Once they did get to the Western Conference Finals, that's what they played. They played Dallas Mavericks. I just talked about that. But once they did get to the finals to play the Boston Celtics, which had a tougher road to get to the finals, they beat the Nets first round. They had to go through the Bucks and Western Conference Finals. They played against Miami. So I thought with their length, you heard me talk about it last episode. I thought with their length and size and stuff like that, they'll be able to D up Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and whoever else they had. They had Marcus Smart, the Defensive Player of the Year, anyway. For crying out loud, I thought he'd be able to at least contain Steph Curry. But as you saw, Steph Curry, pretty much him and Andrew Wiggins put the Warriors on his back this series. Everybody doubted them and thought they wouldn't be able to do what they can do in the finals, but they were able to pull it together. And Steph, he's putting together a monumental career for himself. A lot of people were doubting him and not putting him in their top 10 just because of, his size, that he was a guard, and, because he didn't have a finals MVP, which was kind of weird. It was kind of like, why does that validate you? He was fucking the best shooter in NBA history, for crying out loud. Like, doesn't that validate you enough to be at least in the top 10? But I guess not. But him winning his 4th ring now and winning that playoff MVP or finals MVP, shit, you can't not put him in the top 10 now. I don't know exactly who you would take off your top 10 if you have it, because I mean, that's your personal bias. And I don't have my top 10 off the top of my head, but I think you kind of undoubtedly have to move Steph into that because of what he's been doing over the past couple of years. What is it? 4 titles in 8 years in the finals. So that's 50% out there. And their team, they've been cohesive. They did have those couple of years with Kevin Durant, and people are kind of looking at Kevin Durant now and saying, like, fuck, did the Warriors actually need you to win the championship? Because they did pick up Kevin Durant after going 73-9 and losing to LeBron and them. So it is kind of interesting to see. And KD is getting a lot of slack. I think he undeservedly gets hella slack. He just be minding his business and trying to play basketball, but people are always kind of like putting his name in the media whenever it comes to Russell Westbrook, whenever it comes to the Warriors. And I kind of do feel sorry for him sometimes. And he is kind of short-tempered, so he'll snap back and let you know how he feels. Especially with that little beef he has with Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is saying that he's a bus rider, not a bus driver, and people won't really validate him as being great until he wins a championship leading his own team, which is kind of crazy for him to say. I don't know. I think they just need to leave Kevin Durant alone because Kevin Durant's snapbacks are going to start getting more and more aggressive and less about basketball. I can already tell. So I just think you need to leave him alone. He understands what y'all saying. We don't need to be, I don't know. I can't say that shit. If you guys get paid to do what you guys do, and he gets paid millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, so maybe he should be able to take it. But it's like, God damn, he don't be bothering nobody, but everybody be slandering the shit out of this man. But hey, it does seem like he's about to leave the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie is looking for a way out of the Brooklyn Nets. But let me finish off by giving the Warriors their props. They did have their parade on Monday out here in the Bay Area, San Francisco, and it did look wild. Congratulations to all the fans out there getting another championship. 4 in 8 years is wild. Congratulations to you. Man, I just kind of find it funny how fast, like after the team wins the championship, the sports media and everybody else just kind of moves on to the next sport, and the next sports champion is more important. It just kind of feels like during the season and after you win, it's cool. And then after the parade, it just goes dead for you for a while. It's like, damn, did we win the championship? Because we feel like it was like last year. That's just my perspective with me, the Bucks winning the championship 2 years ago, Atlanta Braves, you know what I'm saying, winning that World Series last season. It feels like 17 years ago and the whole season started up. It's like, did we win the championship? It doesn't really feel like it anymore. Like the nostalgia of it isn't as present as it was in the moment, even though that's kind of obvious. It's just like, fuck. Now what? It's football season. Now you got to move on to fantasy and talk about Mr. Tom. I'll take it because me personally, I was kind of bitter that they beat the Nuggets in the first round. So I couldn't wait for this championship to be over and that parade to be over. Congratulations to y'all, but let's move on. But yeah, speaking of KD and Kyrie and them in Brooklyn, KD maybe looking on for a way out. Kyrie, he wants a super max from the Brooklyn Nets or a max from the Brooklyn Nets. They don't want to give it to him. They may want to give him a 2 to 3 year contract, kind of a prove it contract, because he hasn't been the most reliable player out there for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like he does what he wants to do. He'll show up. He won't show up. It's like however he feels, he'll just do what he feels. He makes so much money. I don't know if he makes the same amount of money no more because Nike dropped him. I don't know if his beliefs were getting too strong for him or what. They just said like, nah, we're not interested. And I heard that his aunt is his agent or something like that. So I don't know. He's kind of like taking his own path. And a lot of the times, well, in the media anyway, it looks like he is kind of like taking a step backwards or taking steps backwards. But in his personal life, I don't know him personally, of course, but maybe he is doing what's best for him and he's doing what makes him happy with taking his time away, needs for himself. He's really into, his religion now and, self-meditation, and that's good. I don't want to talk down on that, but it just seems like he's not 100% like as interested in basketball as he should be. I don't know. I don't want to, talk about somebody or count their pockets or nothing like that, but it just seems like he wasn't all in this year with the COVID stuff and last year before that taking time off. If you guys listen to Stephen A, you know all the stuff that happens. I ain't gonna reiterate any of that stuff because man, it's like beating a dead horse. That's a bad saying. Yeah, that's weird. But anyways, yeah. And KD may want to leave. The draft is tomorrow. I'm recording this on Wednesday, coming out on Friday. So the draft was yesterday, hearing this on Friday. So yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. Jeremy Grant already got traded to the Blazers. There's talks that DeJounte Murray may be getting sent to the Hawks in trades for John Collins. So we don't know what's going to happen. As the draft gets closer, stuff, may get kind of wild. And we may see some stuff fall that we didn't think was going to happen, like KD or Kyrie going to the Lakers in free agency. People are saying that may be a destination for him. The Hornets are interested in Russell Westbrook, so they may be able to offload him to the Hornets and get some players back and then get Kyrie in there and the Lakers can be back on the map. We don't know what's going to happen. And I think Kyrie kind of enjoys being in the spotlight. Maybe not, but it just seems like kind of the moves that him, James Harden, and KD be making. It's like, damn, do you guys just want to be in the media? You guys claim to want to be left alone and play ball, but it's like a lot of the moves that y'all making, it's like, fuck, the media are going to talk about that, scrutinize that, and they're just going to have a field day with it, But I don't know. Maybe y'all have the right to do what y'all want. You definitely have the right to do what y'all want, you know what I mean? And be happy where you are and play where you want to play and win where you want to win and make the money you want to make. You have the right to do all those things. But man, we don't need to switch a team every year, do we? Can we play a forward team for at least like 2 or 3 years before we go and switch around and do all this other shit? People giving up hella draft picks to get you and shit like that, and then end up losing you the next year just because you don't like what's going on with the team. I'm all for players taking the power back, but Jesus Christ, they just dissolving these teams and then just dipping out. I don't know, maybe it's the end of the super team and we're gonna see teams actually start to build through the draft and become organically good again. Shit like that. But congratulations, Warriors. Basketball is over. We move in transition into football. We'll be talking about that real soon. Fantasy football and all that shit. But me, I'm gonna put my nerd hat on real quick because you know how I cape for the Marvel. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Marvel. Talk about some updates here. Coming soon, Phase 5 should be announced. We are waiting to see what Phase 5 is going to be about. We kind of got a hint of it in Loki and a couple of other Marvel shows. We saw that We're going to get Kang the Conqueror and Ant-Man. We're going to get the new Thors coming out. And, you know, a lot of stuff, a lot of Easter eggs are probably going to start to happen to let us know what Phase 5 is actually going to be. But Kevin Feige should be making the announcement soon, I'm hearing on Twitter, to let us know what's about to happen. I mean, I'm ready to see what Blade has, you know, when Blade's actually going to come out, me personally. And I think that's the last thing that's going to come out. I'm waiting to see if Fantastic Four is actually going to come out after seeing Doctor Strange, which actually just dropped on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on there. And we saw the Illuminati in there. We got to see Reed Richards for the first time. So are we actually going to see him in a, you know, actual Mr. Fantastic costume? Are we? I'm not sure. But I did want to get into a couple of shows I was watching. Quick reviews here. I'm not going to hold y'all too long on this beautiful Friday because I know it's probably hot outside. You probably want to step your toes in some water and you probably want to watch some more of the other Best of Bias videos. So, hey, I'm going to make this quick rapid fire because it's only me and you guys love to see me and shit like that, but I'm not going to hold y'all too long today. But Miss Marvel, if you guys been watching that on Disney Plus, I don't know how much I've been liking that. And if you guys noticed, we haven't been reviewing it episodically. There's like 3 episodes, I think, out now. To me, it's kind of slow. If you guys played the Avengers game, the Kamala Khan in the game is nothing like the Kamala Khan in the TV show. Her powers come from a different origin. By now, you guys have seen about 3 episodes. Spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen it, fast forward the podcast because I'm about to talk about this and Obi-Wan and how I felt about the finale that just came out today. So if you guys haven't seen all that, skip ahead because I'm about to go through a rapid review of both of those things. But starting with Miss Marvel, I do like the fact that they focus on her Pakistani roots, all the religion stuff, all the familial kind of interactions is really cool. We get to see a lot, a lot of different things in that, in Pakistani culture that we don't usually get to see on the surface. So I'm happy that they're actually culturally correct with that kind of stuff. And they're not just kind of like making it super vanilla and whitewashed and stuff like that. They're actually staying true to Pakistani culture. I do listen to some podcasts that actually, proved that point and actually mentioned it, like all the stuff that Kamala Khan's going through that he and his sister have actually gone through as kids. They actually did their research and did it right. To me, the powers is just kind of weird. Instead of making her stretch and stuff like she usually does and shit like Mr. Fantastic, they kind of made her powers a little bit more kind of like Green Lantern-y, because Green Lantern, of course, is on DC. For all the Best of Bias listeners that don't have their nerd caps on right now. But yeah, they actually have her put on like this bracelet that makes her body able to transmute some kind of like glowing, it's kind of hard to explain. That's one of my kind of critiques about the show too. It's kind of like, it doesn't really truly explain how the power works necessarily yet. For some reason, she's able to project things to make her walk on the sky and pretty much levitate into the air. I've seen the stretchy arms. Kamala Khan has the stretchy arms. If you familiar with Marvel comics, her fists get hella big. She makes herself hella Miss Incredible type shit. You know what I'm saying? Anything she does in the movies, anything you see Mr. Fantastic do, she pretty much does the same shit minus the super genius type shit that Reed Richards has. But yeah, it's interesting. It is very high school drama-y so far. Like I said, I haven't really read many, I haven't said this, but I haven't read many Kamala Khan or Miss Marvel comics, but she is really obsessed with Captain Marvel, hence the name Miss Marvel. But she's a kid. She doesn't really do much crime fighting yet. The fighting scenes are kind of cheesy. I ain't gonna hold you. So I would suggest it if you're into something, want to watch it with your kids or something, but this isn't no Loki. This isn't no Captain America or Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's nothing like that. It's kind of more kiddie and something you can watch with the kiddos and kind of enjoy it together and learn about Pakistani culture. I think that's more so what it's for right now, but it's cool. Episode 3, like I said, the stakes just kind of got high. I don't know. Me personally, I may have to watch it again, but yeah, it does. It may be doing too much of the reflection on the culture and not really moving the storyline along enough. Maybe that might be my biggest gripe, but it may get better. Hopefully it's more than 6 episodes because we're already halfway through, and a lot of the other shows have been 6 to 8. So if this one's 6, they have a lot to cover in 3 episodes. And if they cut it off at 6, I don't think it's going to be as good as it should be, honestly. But keep watching if you're watching now. I have my fingers crossed. Maybe I can get somebody on here soon to review that as well, so we can see how they actually felt about it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, let's talk about Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, it was interesting to me. The series is over now. A little bit slow moving for me, but it did hit a lot of nostalgia points. It was cool seeing Ewan McGregor, whatever his name is. I think that's his name. I think I said it right. It's like a mouthful though. Ewan McGregor. But anyways, yeah, to see him back on the screen reprised as Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. Seeing Hayden Christensen as a young Anakin Skywalker, well, mid 20s, I guess. Anakin Skywalker was cool. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't think the stakes were as high as they should have been, because we kind of knew what was going to happen already, because you had Luke and Leia as kids, and we were dealing with Darth Vader, and we know this is a prequel, so we know that Darth Vader is in all the Star Wars movies. We know that Leia and Luke grow up, so the stakes and everybody chasing them and trying to kill them in the show, we knew they weren't going to die. So maybe the stakes were high as far as maybe Obi-Wan would die, because he's not in the later movies, but we see him die too in the later movies too. So I don't know. I just kind of felt like we saw action, but we knew that, okay, ultimately something was going to happen to where they'll get out of it because they're in the future movies. Because they don't have a multiverse. I don't think they don't get down like that in Star Wars, at least not yet. So I think, yeah, it was really quick. The action happened the last couple of episodes. One of the main antagonists had a weird storyline. She was a bad guy, then she wasn't a bad guy, but she was a bad guy, but then she turned good, but she got stabbed with a lightsaber, but she was able to live because I'm sure lasers correct the bleeding so you don't bleed out. So maybe that's what happened, and they didn't hit any arteries, but she was able to chase after. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, I think, were nostalgic, but I don't think they hit the nose for me. I'm not the super 100,000% Star Wars fan, so I'm not really knowing all the super lore. That's why I need AK in here so he can let us know how he felt about it. We'll get him in here soon, but I like the fighting scenes. Fucking Darth Vader and first sister or third sister, and then they had the Obi-Wan and the Darth Vader fight. Those fights were dope. Just them using the Force was epic. Looking like earthbenders out there, looking like Aang, Darth Vader Aang. I did like how when they chopped his mask, you did get to see Hayden Christensen in that burnt face. We in the older movies, you know, it was, I don't know who the actor was, but it wasn't Hayden Christensen. So to see his face inside the mask after he Obi-Wan cut it open, and to hear James Earl Jones, I hope that's his name, the original Darth Vader's voice, and then you hear Hayden Christensen's voice under it, and you hear them both on top of each other juxtaposed. That was tight. I really like that. So he made it seem like he really sounded like Hayden Christensen under the helmet, but the voice was James Earl Jones. That was sick to me. I was wondering how they would make him sound like Darth Vader with it being him, with James Earl Jones and Hayden Christensen not being the voice of Darth Vader, but they did a good job. They really did a good job. I don't know if it was voice deep fake or what, but they did a good job. I don't know if they're going to do sequels with Leia growing up and Luke growing up or whatever they're going to do with that, but it was interesting, man. I'm hoping that Ahsoka's at 10 times better. Rosario Dawson's gonna kill that shit. She did in Mandalorian and the Boba Fett episode she was in, so I can't wait to see that. But overall, I liked it, man. I liked it, but it was just not as good as I thought it was gonna be. We waited a long time for it, and there was a lot of hype behind it. But 6 episodes in and out, I don't know if we saw or got to chew on as much as we thought we was gonna chew. We was going for a buffet, and we got a little appetizer or something, you know what I'm saying? We want something more to chew on, you know what I'm saying? I want that top sirloin. You gave me that that McRib sandwich. Oh, no, it wasn't that bad. I'm capping. I'm capping. But yeah, man, go check it out if you haven't. All those shows are on Disney Plus. Disney Plus got a bunch of stuff coming up. Again, they dropped Doctor Strange on there. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it on there. You can watch it for free. Well, it's not necessarily free if you have to pay for Disney Plus, but you ain't got to go to movies to watch it, and it ain't as expensive. Let's see. Also, while we're on the, the kind of Nickelodeon cartoon and shows and stuff like that, Avatar spinoff supposed to come. Zuko, the Kyoshi Warriors, and Korra. All these 24, 25, and 26, 2024, 2025, and 2026. No official dates have come out yet, but they have determined that there were going to be spinoffs made on the Kyoshi Warriors. We got Korra, of course, the next Avatar, and then we had Zuko, because Zuko is one of the crowd favorite characters as well, and actually get a live action film based on them would be kind of epic. Exciting to see, especially Kyoshi Warriors too. That'd be a great one to see. I would like to see a Toph movie too, because me personally, I like the Earthbenders a lot. Music, Drake's album. A lot of mixed reviews on that. I mean, within a day or two. Me personally, not my bag. When I heard it, I was like, honestly, never mind. I'm not gonna rush listen to this like I used to, or was gonna listen to it, because I'm not, I don't know, Baltimore house music, New Jersey house music. I'm a West Coast guy. I'm not from out there. To me, it sounds like regular EDM house music, instrumentally. So I don't really hear a difference, but I don't know. It's not for me. I won't say it's super bad. It's not for me. It's probably for the ladies, for the summertime, for the European clubs. You're like, throw it in the mix. This is Drake right here. You know what I'm saying? You can say that with those type of beats and those kind of house musics, and it'd be, maybe you get his songs played in clubs that usually wouldn't get his songs played in for it, but it wasn't my vibe. I had like 3 or 4 songs I liked on the album, but you know what I mean? It won't get played that much when it's just me by myself. But shout out to Drake. I mean, I know he's working hard. He's like his what, 9th, 10th album? 5, I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but he has hella albums and he's been giving us gold for a long time. So just this album not being good shouldn't make or break how you feel about the artist and think the artist has fell off or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying that's what Twitter is kind of saying. People are talking shit about him only selling like 250,000 records and him not blowing it out of the water like he usually does. But I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast, and they were mentioning a lot of artists didn't really put out super heavy sales like they used to. I think Kendrick Lamar only did 280,000 the first week. I don't know if Jack Harlow even did that much. So yeah, it's not something to sneeze at. Some people were saying, because Beyonce just dropped a new song today as well. And it's also Baltimore house sound. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing the vibe. But shoot, that's the new thing right now. We got 2 of the biggest artists in the world putting out the same type of vibes at the same type of time. So, I mean, us peons down here, I guess we got to get with it, because there's a movement happening, or they're trying to create it. But man, I don't know if I can do it, yo. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if it's for me. But Beyonce did drop. She's dropping in July. Chris Brown's dropping next week, and he dropped the track list, boy. Or not next week. What am I talking about? It's 2 days. Today is Wednesday. So if, Thursday, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we'll get that shit. And by Friday, it's going to be on. We're going to be in Vegas too when that shit drops. It's going to be virally. But I've seen features on there from Blast, Tory Lanez, Blue, Dirk, Capella Gray, Bryson Tiller. All kind of artists are on there. So it's highly anticipated. You already heard Warm Embrace, that's going to be on there. Wheels Fall Off, we heard that on YouTube, as well as Love You Every Day, I think it's called, with WizKid. And that's online, out right now on Apple Music too, but highly anticipated. We have some good music for the summer. If it's not the best music, your favorite, it's still something to get people out there and moving in this hot weather. Get some feel good vibes back in the world. Everything ain't got to be super trappy or nothing drill right now. I know the drill is popular right now, but give it a chance. Maybe, after your 3rd, 4th listen, they'll catch on to you. Maybe if you, find that somebody at a club, if they shake a little something on you, and you know what I'm saying, and vibe to one of the songs, maybe you'll feel a little different way about the album. So maybe you'll say, honestly, never mind, I do like this album or something like that, because the ladies is gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be people that people that are really into this, you know what I'm saying? My bias may not be everybody's bias, so don't knock it until you try it, everybody. Honestly, never mind out right now. Chris Brown out Friday. Beyonce's song is out right now, and the name of the song is slipping my mind. So let me just look that up for y'all, so I am not just sitting here being a dopey. It is called "Break My Soul." Break My Soul. Go check that out. Beyonce's new song that just dropped. Her album Renaissance is dropping sometime in July. I don't know exactly when. And I just saw The Game dropped a new song also off his upcoming album. I think it's called Illuminati, or I don't know. But it's him and Hit Boy called Violence. Check that out. A lot of new music dropping, man, for the summertime. Speaking of music, one quick topic here before we go to commercial break, because I do need to grab some water. I know I always got to grab water at this time of the episode. My bad, y'all. God damn it. My bad. But Mario versus Omarion in a versus. Who y'all think will win? Me personally, I think Omarion would serve Mario. I know Mario got a couple of songs, but I just think when Omarion goes into his B2K bag, into his Bow Wow bag, into it, maybe he has some You Got Served tracks, you know what I'm saying? Starts doing some shit like that. I think it may just overwhelm Mario. I know Mario has Just a Friend, even though that could be Biz Markie song. How Do I Breathe? What else he have? What else he have? He has this fire one. Shoot, he has a couple of songs. I know I'm missing something. But I know Omarion has Touch, Icebox. He has he has all that B2K bag. He can go into the supposed to be the newer bag that he had when he was signed to Rich Forever or Maybach Music, excuse me, when he was signed to Maybach Music. And then he has some other shit that he can go. I don't know. It is going to be kind of tough for him to go 20 songs, especially without features, but I think they could do it, man. I know this, y'all gonna kill me for this Mario song that I'm missing. It's like the one that I sing all the time that I know word for word. It's Not Just a Friend. Let Me Hold You. Oh my God. That Mario song, whatever he puts up against a Marion song, it has to be a good one on Marion, because that's the shit right there. That's gonna be an automatic point for that man. So pick your songs wisely. Don't throw one away, putting it up against that. Versus, man, it's been a while since one that really moved me. I did hear Chris Brown was taking calls from Swiss to see who he can go up against, but I know we have to pay top dollar to see that, because they're already trying to put that shit behind the paywall. But Mario versus Marion versus tomorrow, actually, Thursday night. So you may have already seen this when you heard the podcast. But me, I got my money on Marion. If y'all got money on Mario, I'll do push-ups for y'all on the podcast if I lose, but I know I'm not gonna lose. So y'all better be ready to get buff. Ready to get buff. If y'all don't see me on the pod or on the audio, I'm flexing right now. Get buff. Flexing on them. Flexing on them. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that, guys. A little technical difficulties. Of course, you already know what's going on. But yes. Anyways, moving on. If y'all, like I said, if y'all do see something happening that y'all think that I didn't predict, I'm telling y'all, Omarion is gonna take that bag. So I was flexing on y'all for that. 50 push-ups, put it down, mark it down. One more topic here, and then a couple more topics, then we need to go to commercial break. I did get some water, but you know what I'm saying? I need to take a little break. Let y'all marinate on what y'all heard. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be right back. Have some ads or something run, and we'll be back. But let's see. What are we going to go into next? DJ Academics. Whew. To make this one quick, because I'm not one to gripe on past tweets, past things you say, past things you may have said, and you are actually able to grow from that. DJ Academics just he rubs people the wrong way sometimes. So whenever something does happen, they're gonna jump on them and bring it to light, even if he had intentions or if he's misquoted or anything. If he says anything crazy, people are gonna take that opportunity to kind of jump on him just because what's the word? I don't know, I'm not gonna say that. He antagonizes people. Pretty much. I can't say the goddamn word, but pretty much he's been antagonizing people ever since that 6ix9ine stuff. He's been pretty much antagonizing some of the biggest people in the game. He is a big media content creator right now. He kind of moved away from that a little bit and has become kind of more so a promoter of like these big artists than more so the kind of like drama guy who stirs stuff up just kind of to try to get kind of views and clicks. But this story that came out about him recently is a clip of him saying that 17 to 21, when you're in college, guys and girls, they don't ask age. If she's 17 or 21, he doesn't care. Somebody is getting fucked, pretty much getting this D. That's pretty much what he said in the clip that we heard that surfaced online, which on surface is really, really wild. Even though he tried to kind of explain it a little more, it still was wild no matter how you try to frame it. He was trying to kind of say that, oh, when you're in college or high school, people around the same age in those groups from freshman to senior, they don't go around asking ages of the people that they hook up with, which I don't find to be very true. I kind of do think that you would ask somebody their age if somebody was a freshman or looked young. I think you would kind of know that this person may be kind of young. So I don't know if he can really use that excuse to kind of try to say that. And he even tried to throw in high school in there. I'm like, in high school, you definitely knew if somebody was a senior, if somebody was a freshman, or how much younger somebody was. If I was a senior that was 18, and I'm not gonna go mess with a freshman that's like what, in high school, what are you, like 14? I mean, it's 4 years, so I'm gonna assume that you're something like 14. That would be very, very weird. I don't know where that assumption is coming from, that in college you don't worry about somebody's age. In high school, you're not worried about the age of somebody that you're getting involved with, especially sexually, because there's something called statutory rape, because the person's not old enough to have sex with. I know it's not a foreign concept to him, but the way he tried to justify it sound a little weird, man. He, I guess, was saying it was in 2014. He was referencing Kylie Jenner's relationship with Tyga, and he was kind of trying to say that I don't know what he was trying to say, honestly. Now that I think about it, what was he trying to say? That, okay, it's not bad that Tyga is dating Kylie because if you're in college or around adult ages, that you're not going to ask or trip off of how old the person is? I don't really, maybe he was trying to slander Tyga for dating Kylie Jenner at the time and just being like, oh, well, I can see where he could have possibly met her in that situation because you're in this kind of atmosphere and not really asking about her age. And then it comes out later. But that, I don't know, man, academics, that one, if he's able to get his way out of that one, I don't think cancel culture exists anymore because, I mean, the clip that they pulled blatantly kind of did say, it doesn't matter, 17 to 21, somebody's getting this D. I don't know if that's verbatim, but pretty much that's exactly what was said. He may be able to get his way out of that one, but it did kind of blow over the last couple of days. But like I said, with him being kind of like the antagonistic, I said it, being the person that he has been over the years, people are looking to get him. And I've heard he got death threats. I've heard he's been getting all kinds of stuff over the years. So this here is not a death threat, but it's something almost like death to your career if you get accused, or somebody playing with you, kind of trying to call you a pedophile or something like that, because that's not a good label to have. No matter who you are, you don't want to have that. Moving on, rapid fire here. Something crazy, just a random topic I don't know much about, but I just read it on Instagram. A Russian woman is eaten by her 20 cats after collapsing and nobody coming to find her. And that is nutty. In Russia. I guess she passed out and she had 20 cats that were hungry, weren't being fed. So they decided to eat her after she collapsed. That is nuts. Somebody, and rest in peace to her, but somebody put on Instagram, that's what you call biting the hand that feeds you. They have no soul on Twitter. They don't give a damn about nobody. Next topic here. because I don't really know much about that or this one, honestly. But I'm gonna throw it out there because they're talking about it. Elon Musk and Dogecoin. He is, I think, being sued for trying to run a potential pyramid scheme with Dogecoin. I remember early last year, or maybe this year, actually, earlier this year, Elon Musk got really behind the cryptocurrency Dogecoin and the meme Dogecoin to try to get this cryptocurrency popping. And it was supposed to be backed by Tesla and Elon Musk. So a lot of people jumped into it really quickly and spent a lot of money. I mean, it wasn't really expensive at the time, but there's still probably a lot of money going into Dogecoin because a lot of people try to get in fast and hoping it was the next, Bitcoin. It didn't really rise to anything. We saw a couple, because I got in there, I bought me about 300 coins. But we saw it rise to about 70 cents, about 60 cents. And we thought it was on its way to $1. Everybody thought it was going to be the next coin to be kind of crazy out there like Bitcoin and actually do numbers like that. But it ended up crashing. And I think it's sitting at like 2 cents right now, maybe even 20 cents, something super, super low. And it never got to what it was supposed to get or was projected to get by Elon Musk. And that was kind of like a bummer for everybody. So they, they kind of like want their money back. Cryptocurrency right now in general, I kind of think is bottoming out. The experts, of course, are saying that the market will bounce back, but I didn't really understand it at first, at all in general. So for me to invest a lot of my money into shit like that and to see that it's kind of bottoming out right now, that would hurt my heart, even though I'm sure it probably will rebound. I think personally, people off of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are probably making too much money for the old boys club, and they're like, "Nah, we got to cut that off a little bit and decrease this blockchain and let everybody." I don't know how to speak crypto talk or NFT talk, but I heard Elon Musk, was getting sued by like 243 million or some crazy number like that, but he got it, I'm sure. Let me see a couple. Should we stop right there? Get a commercial in? Yeah, I'll get the commercial in now. Get a commercial break in. We'll come back, talk about LIV Golf and the PGA losing, losing like 3 of their most prominent golfers after their, PGA tried to suspend them for golfing in a LIV Golf event. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So Saudi Arabian kind of ran a golf association who are trying to bring a lot of PGA golfers on and on board. I'm gonna make it a big thing out there. Like I said, PGA suspended them for participating in an unsanctioned tournament that they had. And there has been a lot of back and forth and a lot of bitterness from the PGA players towards the PGA for suspending them. But I'll get into all that. Brittany Griner still incarcerated in Russia. She actually missed her anniversary call due to a little snafu they had in the Russian prison. Gronk retires. Deshaun Watson settles 20 out of 24 cases. Plenty more topics when we return here on the Best of Bias podcast. Just me today, talking, spin some noise into your ear. Best of Bias merch out right now. Go get you some. Beautiful Struggle merch out right now. Go get you some. And it's me, Lydell Dinero. I'll be back, y'all. Don't touch that dial. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Yeah.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias.
And we are back. It's your boy Lydell Dinero. Of course, you know what it is. Let's get back to these topics, man. I don't want to hold you guys too long. Of course, I got a pack too because I got a bachelor party to get ready for young Matt. Congratulations to Matt and Sabrina. Getting married, you know what I'm saying? So we're getting ready for that. We're gonna have a lot of fun going out there to Vegas. So by the time you hear this, we're gonna be out there partying and that. But that's a little bit later. Let's get back to what we're talking about right now, which is some more topics. We're talking about the LIV Golf. I don't really know what they call themselves necessarily. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's like this golf association. It's kind of like a league that was sponsored and it's kind of be ran out of Saudi Arabia. It was in the news a lot lately because a couple of popular PGA golfers got suspended by the PGA for participating in unsanctioned golf matches put on by this group running its operation out of Saudi Arabia. And I don't understand really why they were suspended for it necessarily. because people in the media were saying that America's in business with Saudi Arabia with a bunch of other, imports, exports type of stuff. But these golfers are going out and just playing golf, and they're trying to treat it as a crime, you know what I mean, by suspending the golfers. These golfers have actually taken their talents elsewhere, leaving the PGA. Some popular golfers, such as Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, and Brooks Koepka. These are the most recent, popular stars and champions, well-known people that bring a lot of eyes to the PGA, you know what I'm saying? You just got really Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy out there. Those are the guys that kind of bring the eyes to the PGA right now. I'm not really into the golf, so I ain't gonna act like I know everybody up in that, in that arena. But I know a lot of these names that are moving over to this LIV league is they're really popular. And it seems as though they have a big budget out there because they're trying to get stuff implemented in the league to make it more interesting and bring more eyes, kind of take away from the PGA by like bringing like top-notch performers. They're paying performers like $30 million to come perform during these golf tournaments. They're trying to incentivize caddies, golfers to come over from the PGA by saying they give their caddies more benefits. I guess in the PGA, the caddies were treated like shit. They have like terrible like quarters to, stay in if they're staying overnight. And they're like, I'm sure it's not as bad as they're making it seem, but it's probably not, they're not getting treated as well as the golfers. And the golfers are actually sticking up for their caddies and saying like, okay, they're probably negotiating with the LIV and they're giving them better, better treatment, I guess. It's interesting to me because, I don't know, it kind of just seeped into the media, sports media as well, because it's kind of going political with the whole Saudi Arabia type thing. But I don't know. I think it's kind of cool to see other leagues kind of be created and expounded upon. It's kind of just bringing more eyes to the sport regardless, you know what I mean? Having two golf leagues, I don't think is bad for, isn't bad for the sports world. I don't think the XFL, the USFL, or, any of these like semi-pro leagues or, shouldn't exist, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they should all have a chance, to see if they thrive, if they get those views, if they get those monetary gains, they should be around. And I don't think you should punish your most popular golfers anyways, because they're trying to really incentivize golfers from going, from staying with the PGA. They're saying like tournaments, they have like tournaments and, there's multiple tournaments in the season. They're saying like the top 3 scoring golfers each season will get like $40 million. It's like they're just throwing crazy ass prices out there, crazy ass like numbers to try to incentivize all these PGA golfers to move over. But if you guys know about it, you know about it. If you don't, I probably didn't do a really good job of explaining it. Just know there is change coming in the old boys club, which is the PGA. I see a lot of ingratiation of a whole bunch of different like races and a bunch of different styles, a bunch of different flair being brought into the PGA. So just imagine how, much higher they can go with the funding of LIV and whatever they're doing over there. And sorry if I'm pronouncing that shit wrong, because I probably am mostly. Moving on, Brittany Griner, man. If you guys haven't heard, Brittany Griner has been incarcerated in Russia for 125 days now while she was traveling, I guess, trying to get back to America. She had some vape cartridges in her luggage, and those are highly illegal out there in Russia. So they took her to jail, but it was at the height of this kind of Ukraine-Russian war. And, America was highly involved in funding Ukraine and stuff like that. So it kind of got a little bit deeper than the drugs in her bag. It kind of seems now like a hostage situation. That's what people are trying to call it in the media, because she's been arrested there and held, and negotiations haven't gone anywhere to try to get her out of there. Even more recently, she had a anniversary phone call scheduled with her wife. It was on a Saturday recently here. And I guess they couldn't talk to each other because there's nobody operating the phones for the Russian jail. And, her wife is like, come on now, how are we going to trust you to try to get her out of jail? She's been sitting there for 125 days. That's almost more than 4 months. And you guys can't even negotiate something as getting this phone call in on time. Like, It's just looking ugly. And she's one of our, more prominent WNBA stars too. So it's kind of crazy to see that we don't have her out already, because I know if it was one of our NBA, NFL stars, prominent actors out here in America, we would have her out already. So, or have him, her, whoever it is out already. So I think we need to shed some more light on that, because she's still over there. And, people are kind of pressing Putin, saying that it seems like a hostage situation. And then his negotiator saying it's nothing like that at all. The drugs that she had were highly illegal. And we are detaining her like we usually do for people who bring those kind of drugs into our country or get caught with those kind of drugs. And that's kind of wild. I don't know. But we are all praying for her and hope she gets out of there safe and sound in one piece. I know it's going to be hard on her to kind of get her life back together. And, mentally it's probably tough to be sitting in a Russian jail. Who knows the conditions over there? People know the conditions out here in American jails, but in Russia, man, you never know, especially if they kind of like hateful towards you just because you're, American. And it's just kind of wild. But prayers out to them. I know I'm kind of going through these last couple topics kind of fast, but yeah, man, it's kind of wild out here. I don't want to hold y'all for too long, but I'm just trying to shed a little light on these topics that you guys might not know about. This book right here, you see this notebook, it got everything that you guys need to know, this knowledge that I'm trying to bestow upon y'all, my Best of Bias family. But I ain't gonna jabber too much because this has been a long episode. I always say that when I'm by myself. I don't know. It's just because I feel like I'm rambling and I don't want you guys to get too bored. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, ain't gonna get bored because you love this shit. But next topic, Deshaun Watson. Wow. I should have talked about this when we were talking about sports earlier, but Deshaun Watson, I knew I was talking about me, Ariel, who is AKA, Jen, I think talked about this last week, Deshaun Watson and his cases. We really thought that, Deshaun Watson was being misaccused. Well, me personally, at first, I really thought he was being unjustly accused of doing these things. I thought Houston was just out to get him since he didn't want to play for them no more. And they kind of consorted with these women to kind of try to take him down and say that he's been doing these things. But the more and more evidence that comes out, it just kind of seems more and more crazy. And it's just kind of crazy on the Browns' part to not have done their background research and the way that they're structuring his money, which I'm gonna get to in a second, which is kind of wild. But at this point, 20 out of 24 of the women who accused him of doing these forced him to do sexual things that he forced them to do that they didn't really want to do during massages or after massages. He settled with 20 out of 24 of them, but 4 of them haven't settled, and a couple of them I don't think will settle. Just because, I know, because they're saying it. I keep saying I guess, which kind of just makes me sound bad, because I feel like I am taking away from what they're saying and making it sound like I don't believe. But it's kind of crazy because in the court of public opinion, we don't really know. And shoot, not to say the Johnny Depp verdict kind of like may have swayed the court of public opinion, maybe thinking these women were lying, but the numbers that keep coming out from this Deshaun Watson case, it's like, how could they all be lies? 24 women. And it's like, okay, it did seem like the Browns didn't care about it because they gave him $230 million guaranteed, highest paid contract, guaranteed contract in the NFL, in NFL history. So, and they're saying that they're not going to give him his full money until like after his suspension is up. So they're only going to give him a couple $1 million until after his suspension is over, which we don't know how long the suspension is going to be. The NFL and the NFLPA hasn't even come to an agreement of when or how long the suspension is going to be. People are kind of assuming now, because of the severity and the numbers, that it's going to be about a year instead of the 6 to 8 games they originally thought. So it might be bad for Deshaun, and depending on how the rest of these cases go, because again, these 4 women haven't settled yet. It may be longer than that. He may be getting a couple of years, but that money he got is guaranteed, and he has enough money to pay these women if they really did just want to settle, for him to try to just get it out of the way and get his suspension out of the way, because $230 million guaranteed is a lot of money. So it seems kind of fishy to me the way the Browns are going about it. But me personally, nothing legally, has been ruled against him, or he hasn't been found guilty of anything, or accused of anything in the higher courts. It's just kind of civil cases here. I don't want to put down the man's, so much, but mentally, man, you're a millionaire. I think you can get either massages from your girl or just one masseuse that gives you really good massages. If you do all that happy ending shit, just get this one girl to do it that will willingly do it and not try to force a whole bunch of women to do it that don't want to participate in these actions. Because, and your lawyer ain't helping you out by saying that happy endings aren't illegal, only if you pay for them. That shit is wild, dog. That shit is wild. But yeah, ultimately, it's another case of social justice, I want to say, against how people in sports feel like they should come down on situations. It's always kind of like a push and pull thing. Society thinks it should be ruled this way. This person should never play football again. But if nothing legally comes against him, it's just now up to the NFL to decide what is just for this player to be suspended. But now, if the court of public opinion isn't saying like, oh, that suspension is just, now the NFL loses money and they're fucked, and they still want to worry about their bottom line. So they want to guarantee that the public is happy. But at the same time, over on the Browns, Deshaun is paid. The team, if he ever plays, once they do start playing, they're going to be really good right away, and they may see the instant success. So they may be okay with sitting him down for a year. He will only get paid like $1 million. But once he does start playing that next year, that 230 is going to kick in, and it'll be fine. As long as he stays, I mean, he's probably going to have a personal trainer to keep him in shape for that last year. And this will be a total of 2 years he hasn't played. But I think he's young enough to withstand that. But man, Deshaun, firstly, don't be commenting on P. Diddy getting massages with the looking eyes, like where can I get one of those from? Stay away from massages publicly for a while, dog. Do something else. like I don't know, something, don't be something that not be, just meditate or some shit. Do some other shit, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, anything related to massages is gonna make you guilty, and then the NFL is just gonna take it out on you even more. Roger Goodell's gonna be like, bruh. But anyways, but they do have an arbitrator now, so it's not all up to Roger Goodell. They have somebody that looks over the NFLPA and the NFL kind of discussing it. There's an arbitrator, and then they, if they can't decide, then ultimately Roger Goodell will come down and try to help people decide. But the arbitration is good. I think that's just the way of Roger Goodell trying to take the target off his back. But ultimately, Deshaun, get yourself together, brother. We're trying to see you on the field. You had so much promise out there in at Clemson. And I know you're a good dude. You just like to be touched a lot. But man, if you want to get touched, go get tackled. You know what I'm saying? Don't do what you're doing right now, because people looking at you crazy. Next, Gronk retires. I want to say thank you, Rob Gronkowski, for the 2 years on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know why I didn't start with this, but it was an amazing 2 years. The first year you got here, you won a Super Bowl out. Second year, you got hurt. The Rams hurt you in the game. You took one for the team. I appreciate all that. We did what we can, but during this season, we had a bunch of injuries, and you were injured. Antonio Brown had a meltdown. We don't know what the fuck happened with that. But all in all, you're one of the best tight ends I've ever seen. One of the best tight ends I've ever seen in my lifetime, for sure. I didn't, look at you the way I look at you now, being on the Patriots, like I do now when you were on the Bucks. I'm happy you retired a Buck. I'm happy you decided to come over here with Tom. It was great watching you, dog, and it was really cool. To have a good tight end, a great tight end on our team that I could root for. I see the Kelseys, the Kittles, the Wallers, the Hawkinsons, even the Freiermuth now. The Muth is loose. That's a little joke from fantasy footballers. My bad. It's probably kind of stupid doing that. But anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of good tight ends out there, and we traded away OJ Howard. Cameron Brate's still there. Like I said earlier in the pod, we still got K-Dot, and maybe I did say this already about Rob Gronkowski. But anyways, thank you, Rob. If I didn't, iterate it enough in the first half, if I did mention it, I don't remember. But hey, We love you, dog. If you want to come back week 8, if we ain't doing too well, we need a tight end. Maybe Cam gets hurt, or maybe we make it to the playoffs. You want to unretire? Well, you bring it back to the field, help Tom win another Super Bowl. Y'all win another Super Bowl, retire together, and then get inducted into the Hall of Fame together. Because I think that's the ultimate goal anyway. So you shouldn't retire right now. Just wait a little bit, come back, then retire with Tom after y'all win another Super Bowl, and then y'all get inducted into the Hall of Fame as best friends, first ballot. Easy. You should just do that. But anyways, I could talk about this all day. Uvalde Elementary School in Texas closing down. I heard about this on Twitter. Just want to quickly mention that it is kind of sad to hear that they have to shut down the school, demolish the school. But it is kind of crazy. You don't want the memories of that tragic day to live on. And it's kind of like doom and gloom around that school, and have kids having to go walk through those halls every day. They'd be forever traumatized. So I feel it. Hopefully they have someplace for the kids to go and actually continue their schooling, at least temporarily. Maybe it's summer now, so maybe by the end of the summer they'll have something ready for them to go. But prayers out to all those families still, man. It's still unbelievable to me. Those kids now are gonna have to go to school fearing shit like that to ever happen to them again. I'm hearing sales about bulletproof backpacks, commercials on TV about drills, what to do if you have active shooters on campus. That shit is kind of crazy to hear. We used to do that shit in elementary school back when I was a kid, and I'd never thought, that would ever happen. You know what I mean? But for some craziness to happen like that now, I still think it's better to be prepared than just to back in the day like I was doing it kind of jokingly. I do see in a couple of states they are passing laws where the teachers can carry. So that is pretty dope. I do like that a lot because it gives another layer of protection for our children. I feel like that should be something that, we have people working at other places now, because I don't know, I think it's just necessary. Grocery stores, churches, and all these places are getting assaulted and abused by these people that are taking it for granted that their place is a sanctuary where people are going to enjoy their lives, where this kind of stuff is supposed to be off limits, and it's just kind of wild. Anyways, I don't want to grab on that that somber shit for too long, but they are closing down the school, and hopefully those kids do get to go to a school with their friends and be able to grow and somehow move on and forget about the traumatized. They'll never forget it, but just somehow be able to move along and move on and still develop and be the smart, beautiful kids I know they were going to be anyways. You know what I mean? Next, and probably actually, let me talk about this one first because I'm not gonna hold it for too long. Jussie Smollett did a recent interview on Sway in the Morning, talking about he still pleads. I guess he's out of jail, by the way. I guess those notes about them trying to say that he was suicidal when he wasn't, was enough to get him out of jail. I don't know how he's out of jail, but he went on Sway in the Morning still saying that he didn't lie. The fact that he got beat up because he was a gay Black man was really the motives for him getting beat up. He didn't stage it, and he would never need to do that to move his career forward. And he would look like an idiot if he was to do so. Jussie. Sorry for my audio listeners. I'm looking deep into this camera with pauses in my face I'm just paused for a little second, just to let Jussie know that we don't believe you, dog. We don't believe you. We know what happened. You went to jail for it. You got pled guilty to it. I don't think they was lying. I think he was lying, but you know what I'm saying? Bless the man. Hopefully his career can get back on track. His sister is doing good things. She's a great actress. She was just in Spiderhead on Netflix. Pretty good movie with Thor Christensen. No, what's his name? What's this nigga's name? I'm talking about Thor. I'm just gonna say Thor right now. But Thor was in it, and Journey Smollett was one of the main characters in the movie as well. So check that out if you haven't seen it. And lastly, I just want to mention this to you guys to give you some shits and giggles before we get up out of here. Women sues Geico for, I think it was about like $5 million, something of that nature. I don't have the numbers right. I should have wrote down the exact price because that's a big part of the story. But I'm gonna say it's from like $5 to $12 million from getting an STD from having sex with an ex-boyfriend in his vehicle. How, you may say? How, you may say? I don't really understand it. It was some stipulations. If you ever, want to get some money real quick, or if you catch an STD, maybe you should sue whoever gave you that STD's car company, and maybe you can get you some money, some meals. So basically, yeah, her and her ex-boyfriend were getting on in his car, getting it on, having sex, bumping uglies. And I guess from that sexual interaction, sexual night, sexual passion, she actually got a STD. So based on that, she went ahead and put in a claim to Geico and said that it was their fault that he gave her an STD because they cover him as a car insurance and he gave her STD in that car and he's liable for that. She sued the car company for damages and for her getting that STD, and she actually won in court. I think it was mostly because Geico didn't show up because they thought the court, the case was gonna get thrown out. And since they didn't show up, they awarded them more money than she was actually suing for. So yeah, she is a millionaire now from catching STD in her ex-boyfriend's car. So I think that's an interesting way if, you want to get rich real quick, find you a boyfriend, girlfriend, nice car, may have STD. I'm just like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. But there is kind of crazy loopholes, I guess, you can find in these insurances that can get you some money because it does open up a can of worms that is kind of crazy because that means anything that happens in your vehicle, somebody else can be liable for it just because it's their car and it happened in their car. Something as little as STD, what happens when bigger shit happens? Like, would their car companies be liable for that shit, man? That's crazy. But I'm sure these big companies have money set aside for these lawsuits, and it's like some bullshit like this. I'm not even gonna show up to fight this shit because it's straight bullshit. But I do got some money set aside in our account. We got to cough that up. But I'm sure they didn't think they was gonna have to give up as much as they was. So once they got that little bill in the mail, they was like, oh goddamn, we should have showed up to that case, even though it was hella crazy. But man. Best of Bias listeners, this is the part of the episode. I know you want more. I know you want more. But this is the part of the episode where I let you guys know where to find me at. You already know where to find me because I tell you every time. If you don't know by now, it's SAC. I'm not going to say that because there could be new listeners here that haven't heard the podcast before. And welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. We will have guests on next episode. A couple people hit me up saying they want to be on, so I'll add them here so you don't have to just see me, even though you guys probably enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? Just got the fresh cat, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna bust it out though. I ain't gonna bust it out right now yet. But to find me, SAC_Lydell. Instagram, Snapchat, Patrick_Lydell. That's me. I post a lot of stuff about what's gonna be on the podcast there, but people act like I don't. But if you do, check out my platforms. You'll see that the podcast is promoted all through that thing. You can find it on Anchor, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Best of Bias, duh. Again, I mentioned this a lot too, but I don't know if people really caught on. They think I only got a couple episodes of my podcast. No. 2 different podcasts. We made a little switch. We ran into a little snafu mid-season, I want to say. A little mid-season injury, I would say. Episodes 1 through 98 are all under the Best of Bias podcast. You'll see the same logo as the bear. He has his glasses on. It'll say the Best of Bias podcast. But then after that, episode 99 through, we're at 119. This is episode 119. Round of applause for that. You can clap it up for that. That's all under Best of Bias podcast. Either way, it's going to be us. It's all under Best of Bias media. So if you want to hear episodes 1 through 98, go to the Best of Bias podcast. If you want episodes 99 through 119, Best of Bias podcast. It's the same premise, you know what I'm saying? But on there, we have a bunch of the early Disney Plus shows, MTV Challenge reviews, discussions, pop culture discussions, 98 episodes worth, if you want to go back and check those out. But everything from 99 to present will be on Best of Bias Podcast, where you can hear TV reviews, movie reviews, pop culture, couples advice, whatever the hell you want to hear, it's on this podcast, and it'll probably be on there. Just search a little bit and you'll find something, man. It's always something for you. I try to do that, you know what I'm saying? I try to produce high quality content that not only enlightens the listeners, but makes them feel at home. Because this is a family. I like to preach that. You listening. Yeah, don't let me get off track though. But on the YouTube, we do post videos. AKA does a great job, like I say, posting all these videos. And they great, man. You'll see everything promoted on there, from Beautiful Struggle products. That's another family business. My mom and sister doing a great job. If you need something from fitness to motivation to everyday, body sculpting is Essence, the body sculpting. They have everything over there. Just look it up, Beautiful Struggle, and it'll pull everything together. Best of Bias merch still available. We got it all. Just check it out on the page, on the podcast, on the YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, tell everybody about it, man. We here to stay. We slowed down a little bit because of the vacation I took. It took a little while to get back on our feet, but we here now. We here now every Friday morning. Right when you wake up, you probably gonna have that podcast and just look down. You'll probably see that bear smiling at you. That means it's time. It's time for another podcast. But yeah, Twitter, Patrick Lydell as well. I don't really promote the Twitter as much as I should though, because I ain't got no followers on it. But yeah, man, hit me up. Everything is good. It's the Best of Bias Podcast. I'm not done with you. Yeah, you thought I was done. But yeah, plenty more t-shirts coming soon, merch coming soon. Check out the reel I just put out on the page. It shows you more of the inventory of the buckets, dads, beanies. I got them all, man. Still available. Shirts coming real soon. They're gonna look very, very snazzy. I'm gonna learn how to do all this printing stuff myself as well, so we can get it real entrepreneurial in here. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be me, and me. Nah, but we are hiring over here at Best of Bias Media if anybody's trying to get down with the get down, because we're looking for everything. We need producers, we need some social media managers, we need some a little bit of everything. We're trying to spread the love around here, so we're trying to expand the team. So if you're interested, hit me up. If you're interested in merch, hit me up. You're interested in Beautiful Struggle merch, hit me up. Listen, you're interested in body sculpting, hit me up. I can direct you to all these things, because the Best of Bias, anything you want, we got it. My theme song, yeah.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of